Well, let's introduce our guest. Our guest this evening is Elimay, and she's going to talk about Southeast Coastal Defence, for which she's
Hello.
been. Hello. You've been fighting for this since 2018, haven't you?
Well, yeah, that's when I first set it up.
Yeah.
I'm
Can you
getting
tell us
Sorry,
you
go on,
talk
sorry.
about it, please, Elaine?
Sorry, my phone's going like mad. Can you say that again?
Elimay, can you just basically tell us about it and how you set something up?
Well, I live on the southeast Kent coast, and I basically got sick to the back teeth of seeing illegals coming in all along our coast on a daily basis. And I mean, this has been happening. They've been coming in by via the tunnel and whatever for ever since it was ever built. It should never have been built, but they started coming in via boats about 18 months ago, maybe a little more than that. It's certainly no more than 2 years. And I just got sick to death of seeing that these illegals were coming in by boat, and the French Coast Guard, as far as we know, are actually bringing them over to British waters. They're contacting the British Coast Guard, and then the British Coast Guard, RNLI, the police, NHS, ambulances, and whatever, all get sent out to deal with these guys. So they're wasting a hell of a lot of resources, and RNLI and the air ambulance. I mean, the air ambulance has been out several times, and that's all funded by the public. It's an absolute disgrace. And so that's why I set up Southeast Coastal.
Right, because I understand that you thought at the time, in fact, you probably got good reason to think, that at the time these people were able to buy these small dinghies to be able to get across here.
Oh, God, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, they're actually paying. They're actually paying traffickers. At the moment, we think it's about £6,000 each to get in these boats. Now, the lefty media and mainstream media and all these idiots like Bridget Chapman from the Kent Anti-Racist Network, they're all saying, they're risking life and limb. Oh, my God, these poor people. It's absolute rubbish. It's complete and utter claptrap. It is not true at all. They are not risking anything at all. The traffickers are making an absolute mint by putting them in boats. But, as I say, the English Channel is the busiest shipping lane on the entire planet. There is no busier part of any water anywhere in the world than between France and Dover or France and Kent. There is no way that they can get in one of these little boats and come across the busiest shipping lane on the planet and get here in one piece. It's just not possible. They are absolutely being assisted by the French.
And you feel that they're actually being probably dropped off about 2 miles, maybe a little bit more off our coastal waters?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think what's happening, Suze, is that they're being brought across by the French, and they're being put into the water about, because bearing in mind, there's I think the international water starts at 12 miles, doesn't it? But there's only 21 miles in between Dover and Calais. So the halfway mark, they're bringing them across to the halfway mark, putting them in dinghies. They're staying with them until the British Coast Guard is seen to be going to get them. It's an absolute farce. It's a taxi service.
And this is what you see, people just don't realise. People think they're getting in these boats on the French coast, sort of making their way probably at night where they can't be seen, and that's how they're getting over here.
Well, yeah, and I mean, look at Natalie Elphicke. I mean, Charlie Elphicke MP, before Natalie took over in December, me and a friend that lives in Dover, he refused to see me because I'm not one of his constituents, but my friend in Dover was. And we spent nearly 7 months begging him for an appointment to go and talk to him about what was going on. And he flatly refused to talk to us. He completely ignored us. His wife took over in December, the December 12th election. Charlie didn't run again because he's actually, I think it's the 3rd of, I don't know, actually. It's this month sometime. He's actually in court. He is up on charges of sexual assault. So because of that, he didn't run in December. His wife ran and she won. And she has done more for the South East Kent coast since December the 12th than he did in 3 terms. So we're talking 12 years. She is going absolutely mad. She keeps kicking up and saying, we have given French millions upon millions upon millions. How is it that these people are still coming across? Why are the French not doing anything? Where is our money? So we're now trying to get an appointment with her. But it's one of them, it's a work in progress. We've got to wait.
Yeah. Now, you also had, was it a couple of people? Was it over a year ago that you had 2 people come down to visit you and do some filming with you?
Oh, yeah, that was Nine Lives Media. Michelle Noir, actually, from Stop UK Marriage Fraud. She and I are actually going on Unity News Network on the 14th. Yeah, she put me in touch with Nine Lives, and they came down. They were very interested in what was going on. They spent the day in Folkestone with us while we were handing out flyers. They spoke to a load of locals, and they said that Channel 4 actually wanted to do a documentary about South East Coastal Defence, and nothing came of it. It's got, they threatened to take a few of us over to France. They actually said about 6 months ago, would I be interested in going over to Calais to talk to immigrants in the jungle? And I said, absolutely, 100%, yes, I would love to. And then it all fell flat. So that's a non-starter, unfortunately.
Yes, I remember you saying that you'd be invited to go over to the jungle and talk to people. No, that's a shame, that.
Well, the thing was, it was a guy called Mike Lewis, and he said to me, he said, would you be interested in going and talking to the immigrants to get their side of the story? And I said, absolutely, 100%. I would love to. Do you know what I mean? Because I wanted to go over there and literally say to them, why are you so intent on getting to Britain? Why have you travelled through so many safe countries and you're still trying to get to Britain? What is it that attracts you so much about Britain? Because most of the immigrants coming in at the moment are claiming to be either from Iran or Iraq, and some from Afghanistan. Over the weekend, we've had some claiming they're from Mali, for Christ's sake, and Egypt. Since when are these countries at war? Why are these people coming from these countries when they have absolutely no reason to? There are no wars going on in those countries.
Then they have absolutely no reason to come over here. What is the reason?
Exactly. No, it's insane. It's absolutely. I mean, you must remember the rant I did a year ago, November, Susie. I literally lost it. It was 17 Iranians came in overnight in Dover, and I went live on Facebook and I had a real rant. Oh my God, I went absolutely mad. But that was what sort of kicked off me wanting to do South East Coastal Defence.
Yes.
But it's, 200 in less than 48 hours. It's insane. And now that we've actually left the EU, now that Britain is no longer a member state, although we have to follow their rules until December, which again is completely wrong. We've left the EU. We should not have to be putting up with these scumbags coming in. And they are scumbags. I'm sorry to say it. Anyone that's listening, I really don't care what you think about me calling them scumbags. They are. Look at how many crimes are being committed in Britain down to immigrants.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Right to be here. Sorry, Susan, go on.
Now, these people are being picked up when they get over here. How many of these are getting sent back?
Do you know what? According to the official figure up to December was 1,044 in the last 12 months, but that 1,044 were only the people who were reported on. I categorically guarantee 100% that if you times that by 10, at least, you'll be nearer the mark. Of those people, the government sent 100 people back. Why?
Wow.
That's less than a tenth of the official figures. The unofficial figure is a whole lot higher. And don't forget the Channel Tunnel. We have, it's called Stop 24. Our end of the tunnel is Stop 24. It's about 8 miles away from Folkestone. And there are at least 100 a day coming in through the tunnel, plus all the, you know, I mean, as Donna pointed out to me, they're coming in at Cornwall, they're coming in at Liverpool, they're coming in at Scotland. They're literally all around the United Kingdom. All 4 countries of the UK are being invaded, and it's not being reported.
Now, if I remember, Elimay, those that are coming through the tunnel, was it not some of the veterans that were offering their services to help sort of check the vehicles, and they were told there was absolutely no way they could help, even though they'd had some experience in doing so? Was it the veterans?
I don't know. That's the first I've heard of it. I mean, see, this is why I want to talk to Natalie Elphick. And this is why we were trying to talk to Charlie Elphick. We wanted to say to him, you know, the people have had enough. The government needs to take action right now, or the people are going to take it into their own hands. We need to set up patrols. You know, at the very least, we need to get accurate numbers of who's coming in.
Yes. Now, you did try and recruit people near where you live, didn't you? But there was quite a bit of apathy, wasn't there?
Oh, do you know what, Suze? Most of them locally are lefties. Seriously. No,
Right.
they, you know, there's a local group called the Romney Marsh, the Real Marsh Watch or something, Romney Marsh where I live. And every time I put something in there about illegals coming along the coast, you get loads and loads of comments. People calling me racist and, oh my God, you know, is that all you ever talk about? They're not hurting anybody. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, I live in a very lefty area.
Yeah. So you really do need outside help, don't you? To be able to.
What I need is for the website to be set up so that we can actually add a donor button. So at the very least, I can maybe then get some donations coming in so I can print off flyers and stuff. And
Yeah.
Justin Ormerod from Wake Up UK promised me 10 or 11 months ago, he told me that he had huge respect for what I'm doing with South East Coastal. He said he appreciated how passionate I am. He really wanted to help. He was going to set up a website, blah, blah, blah. And here we are 10 or 11 months later, absolutely nothing. He hasn't done jack. He's done nothing at all. He has completely ignored me. And that makes me really angry. Do you know what I mean? Because the website has been on hold for 10 months.
Yes. So that's something you need help with. So that's something, you know, we need to put out there, that you need help with setting up a website for this.
Well, I've actually got a mate that lives up in near Liverpool in the Wirral. He's setting it up. He's actually he had a load of work to do. It's end of his tax year and whatever. He had some stuff to do last week, but he's promised me that he's going to get cracking on it tomorrow. So hopefully the website will be up and running soon.
Right. Now, are all these illegals being picked up by the Coast Guards when they get over here? Are they picked up?
Well, yeah, I mean, the RNLI, the Coast Guard, Air Ambulance, they're all going out to get them. And what wasn't actually reported a few weeks ago, this was 3 or 4 weeks ago, I actually had video footage sent to me of a body being pulled out of the sea at Dover. It was an illegal, and for some reason he was completely naked. But I actually had video footage, and I sent it to Kent Online News, and they didn't bother reporting it.
Oh, that's terrible.
It's all being covered up. It's all being covered up. Do you know what I mean? It's the same as everything else in Britain. You know, if you're telling the truth, if you're trying to do something, if you're actually out there, you know, you get persecuted. It's insane.
Did you say they're coming in to Bournemouth and Cornwall as well now, are they?
Oh, they're coming in all around the country. I mean, you know Donna Dalgley.
Yes.
She goes down to Cornwall every year on holiday, and she said to me that there's lots of little coves down there, and they're coming into these little coves and just disappearing off into the country. You know, and we've all seen the videos of lorries on the motorway where, I mean, Christ, I've seen videos of lorries driving along the motorway. You know, they're doing 50, 60, 70 miles an hour, and there are illegals cutting their way out of these bloody lorries. It's an invasion.
Yeah. No, that's disgusting as well.
Oh, it's just, you know, and I mean, I don't drive. The biggest problem I have is that I don't drive because public transport obviously stops at whatever time of night. So short of me going and camping on a beach on my own, which my mate down, I was actually going to do it a couple of months ago. My mate in Hastings said to me, Elaine, do not do it. It's too dangerous. You cannot do it on your own. And I said, oh, don't worry, I've got a dog. And he said, no, promise me you won't do it. But short of me doing that, I'm never going to be able to get any footage because they're coming in from 2 o'clock in the morning all the way through till whatever time. Do you know what I mean? The 98 the other day, there were 7 different incidents at 7 different locations. So how can I possibly get to all of them on my own without transport? I can't. You still there, Suze? Susie?
Sorry, Elaine, I was muted. Were there any children that came in with that lot?
Sorry, say again?
Were there any children that came in with that lot?
The 98 a couple of days ago, they claim that 15 of them were women and kids. But you have to bear in mind that the kids are at least 18 years old. They're not children at all.
Right.
They're not kids.
So there were no young children.
No. Well, no, and that's another thing. You know, all these people coming in, they're probably about 95, 96% of them are fighting age men. And these guys are supposedly coming to Britain because, you know, they're fleeing war in their country, but their women and children are being left in their home countries. That doesn't make any sense.
No,
It's
it doesn't.
absolute nonsense.
I mean, if anything, you'd think they'd get the women and children out.
Yeah, this is
stay
the Middle
behind.
East we're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, Christ, over there. I was watching a video last year sometime, and it was in Syria, and they literally had women in a cage on the back of a lorry. And what they were doing was they were taking these women up to the top of the hills and whatever and leaving them caged because they were going to be the ones who got killed when the bombs came down. I mean, what sort of civilization does that? These people are not normal.
No, I didn't hear that. That's awful.
No, honestly, Suze, it was this video, and the video showed these women in a cage on the back of a lorry, you know, and they put the subtitles and whatever up. And I mean, there were guys on the lorry pointing guns at the women and the kids in these cages, and they were literally taking them to the top of the hills and the mountains and leaving them there.
That's shocking.
But hey, let's welcome them all to Britain.
It doesn't seem so long ago they was bringing people in, and then they put shutters up because people noticed that these so-called children had beards and whatnot. And
yeah, look at that guy in the classroom.
Yeah, there was stuff that come out with the dental, if you remember. The dentist was saying, you know, there's no way in the world these are children, these are adult teeth and whatnot. So
yeah, absolutely.
We are being lied to a lot.
And people like me who are trying to get this out there to the public, I mean, Jesus Christ, on a good day, I only get called racist 10 times. Do you know what I mean?
I think that's worn off now, to be honest. Everyone's seen past it.
But it's all good because Britain First are patrolling the beach. Oh, my God. For you guys listening to this, let me tell you a little bit about Britain First. They were supposed to come down here 2 weeks ago, and the only reason they were coming was because I sent one of the members, someone that's very close to Paul Golding, I sent him the webpage for Southeast Coastal Defence. He then came back and he said, "Oh my God, fantastic, respect, absolutely wonderful, great stuff you're doing." He arranged to meet me in Dover 2 weeks ago. He told me one evening that he would call me at 11 o'clock the next morning to let me know where and when to meet him. He didn't call at 11 or 12 or 1 or 2, absolutely blanked me completely. Later on that day, somebody sent me the link to a video of Britain First in Dover that same day. They were there for 45 minutes. That's it. They were in Dover for 45 minutes and they left. The video was only 4 or 5 minutes long, and it was Paul Golding, of course, and then 3 other guys, and they put a Britain First flag up on the cliffs in Dover. And they then told the world that they're patrolling the Dover beaches 24/7, and people are now sending them money hand over fist. They are lying. They are not patrolling any beach anywhere. So if you're watching this, listening to this, whatever, and you're sending them money, you are sending your money to scammers. They are lying to you. Sorry, I needed to get that off my chest. Not yet. No, I don't think it is, because that hasn't actually been enacted properly, has it yet? And it's certainly not law. I mean, we yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all. But I mean, and the thing is that this invasion is going to get a hell of a lot worse this year, because Priti Patel has stated in no uncertain terms that as soon as the transition period ends on the 31st of December, our borders are going to be shut. You know, you're going to need visas, you're going to need permission, you need this, that, and the other. So that, I mean, 200 in less than 48 hours is absolutely insane. It's the first time it's happened. And with the weather improving over the next few months, it's going to get a whole lot worse. I'm fully expecting thousands and thousands per night in the summer. And don't forget that very, very few of them are being sent back. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there's that. I think she's a Canadian woman, somewhere over in France. She's from some Canadian NGO, and she was secretly filmed by somebody a couple of years ago, and she was telling them that they needed to say that they were ex-Muslim, they converted to Christianity, and she was literally saying to them, "If you say you're a Christian, you'll get in." It's absolute. Oh my God! It just makes me so angry. Everyone's gone quiet again.
I was just thinking myself. I mean, this is probably related to it. There's a hotel near me, Britannia Hotel. Now there's 300 rooms, £100 a room.
Yeah.
And that hotel was absolutely rammed with people from Syria. That's coming from the staff that I spoke to, the security. And he said it's been like that for months. The house there paying £100 a room. That's us paying that, not them. Everything's free, and they stay there until they're rehomed. And coaches was turning up every single day, and it was very secretive the way they was doing it. Rather than come out in a group of 200 that was going to get rehomed that day, he was coming out in small amounts and making them walk 2 miles down the road into a golf golf place or whatever, and the coaches was waiting there, and they was taking him here, there, and everywhere. That had been going on for months and months and months. I went down there and did a little video of it. A few other people did, and then within 2 weeks of people being highlighted to it, people were sticking posters up and all sorts. Within 2-3 weeks, they've stopped that operation in that hotel. But I mean, that's a big chain of hotels. However many it's going on, I haven't got a clue. But it was a well-oiled operation the way they was doing it. It wasn't just, it weren't just something they'd made up on the beach or something. This is a well-oiled operation. What's going on at the moment?
Do you know what, Rick? There's a hotel in Folkestone called the Bursting, the Grand Bursting, they call it.
Yeah.
And I think it was 2014. There were, we actually spoke to South East Coastal. We were doing a flyer handout in Folkestone in the summer. Yeah. And we were talking to this couple, and this lady said to me, "Oh my God, let me tell you about when I stayed at the Bursting." This couple were in their 70s, and they were staying at the Bursting in 2014. And she said that coach after coach after coach turned up. There were according to the local media, it was 130 illegals. The article actually said illegal immigrants, and they were put up at the Bursting. It cost the taxpayer 72 grand to put them up for 2 weeks. And this lady said that her and her husband were told by the hotel manager that they must eat in separate restaurants because the immigrants didn't like them eating together. They were going up and down in the lift and causing all sorts of chaos. Rooms were being broken into, jewellery and money was being stolen, women were being sexually assaulted. And this couple, literally, within 24 hours of the illegals getting there, they turned into the hotel manager and said, "We can't stay here, we can't do this." And Britannia Hotels own the Bursting, and they were told in no uncertain terms that they couldn't possibly get a refund. And then only about 3 or 4 months ago, Vinnie Sullivan was down with a couple of people. I don't know if you see the video. He was filming with me in Folkestone.
Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah.
He actually went to the Bursting because I told him about the about the immigrants being there, and he spoke to the manageress, and he said to her, "Can you please tell me how many immigrants do you have staying here at the moment?" And she said, "Oh, none. I've been the manager for 2 years. We haven't had any at all." And I sent him a link, and the link was only dated 2 weeks previous to that. 59 of them staying at the Bursting. So the managers at these hotels are lying to the public about it as well.
Wow. This is it. People don't realise what's going on. People are bending things and outright lying to make these things happen. There's incentive somewhere along the line for these people. They won't be doing it for nothing. I mean, the security guard,
funny, isn't it?
What you were saying there, the security guard has pretty much said exactly the same thing. Kids playing in the lifts all day and all sorts of stuff going on. All the women locked in one room. If you pulled up when you drove in there, you see the women poking through the curtains, like just spying, like they've never seen a car before or whatever. It's strange, and they literally that's it. They're getting shipped off here, there, and everywhere. God knows where they're going. They're going on coaches, so they're going somewhere far, I imagine. But anyone thinks these problems are not, they're not affecting them. You've got people in Scotland and whatever that don't see these problems. It's going to come to everybody's doorstep regardless. Nobody's going to turn this tap off. At the moment, like AJ just said, it's becoming legal. It's more or less legal for these to do so, which is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I don't think the people are actually awake to what's going on, to be honest. I really don't.
Well, no, but most people have maybe heard it, but they don't believe it.
No, this is it. I mean,
because they'll watch the bloody BBC.
Yeah, this is it. And like you say, anyone that points it out, "Oh, you're racist." Well, at what point in time are we going to say, we've got enough now? We've taken on enough people. We've been more than generous. We've got our own veterans sleeping in shop doorways, but we can hold hundreds and thousands of people that have travelled 13 countries. If you was fleeing war, there's a lot of countries that you've crossed through which was safe, and they speak the same language, they serve the same food, it's the same culture. Why, there would have been safe. There's lots of places would have been safe along the way. All they are, in my opinion, most of them, not all of them, but most of them, is benefit shoppers. That's all it comes down to. It's a soft country. We've got a soft law system. They come here, they can do whatever they want, and to be honest, the law seems to protect them. That's my opinion.
And free healthcare.
Yeah, this is it. They're all coming here with disgusting teeth, needing sorting out and whatever, and who's going to pay for it all? It's only going to be the taxpayers. It's as simple as that. We can't, as a country, we cannot afford to facilitate what we need to facilitate. We're short on schools, we're short on housing. Everything's got a 10-mile list, or 10-mile long list for anything. Even just to get a doctor's appointment with a GP seems to be a struggle. Dentist, everything's hard work. Why? It's because we're letting in more people than we can physically afford to facilitate these things to happen without things going downhill. I think eventually the NHS it's gonna, it's one of them things. It's everything's got a breaking point, and at some point everything's gonna implode. In my opinion, it's just not feasible to carry on doing so and expect a different result. It doesn't make sense.
Well, no, and I mean, as you say about the NHS, there's literally a 5-minute walk from my place. They are building 83 houses, and lots of locals. I mean, we all campaign to try and stop it and whatever else. And of course, because of corruption, it's gone ahead. So we're talking 83 houses. So potentially, we've got 166 adults with X amount of kids. Where are they all going to get a doctor? My surgery has been on its knees since 2016. The NHS no longer run my surgery. It's been taken over by a company called Invicta Health because my surgery has just under 1 star. It's that bad. So where are all these people going to get a doctor? Nobody thinks of that. Where are they all going to go to school? It's insane.
This is it. There's lots of problems with things like this. People don't realise the issues that come from it.
Oh, it just, I mean, on the southeast coast, I am so desperate to get any sort of help at all. You know yourself, Rick. I've been banging my head on a brick wall since November 2018.
Yeah.
There are so few people who actually want to do anything, that get off their backside.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, to me,
Rick, speak up a bit because some people can't hear you.
Sorry. It might have, I tried the earphone thing. It's probably on the blink. Yeah, I mean, to me, as soon as it arrives on the coast, wherever it is, it's then our problem because instantly you have to start paying for things. It's as simple as that. There's not an endless supply of money. Why the government think it's okay to allow these things? The government don't have any money. The government doesn't have money. That's our money. So what they're doing, distributing it here, there, and everywhere, looking after anyone that decides to swim across the water, in my eyes, that, coming before your own people, that's disgusting. In my eyes, it's treasonous. How can you have your own veterans sleeping in shop doorways and whatever and suffering with PTSD and all sorts of stuff, but that's okay, but we must tick all these boxes because what? It doesn't make sense to me. It's disgusting. I just don't think people until recently are starting to wake up to certain things. I mean, it weren't so long ago. Anyone that pointed out grooming gangs and whatever, he was a far right racist. What for? For stating facts? Go and read Easy, mate. See how you feel after that. These things are just facts. But now the facts have come out on that, it's making people evaluate. Well, if I got it wrong on that, what else have I misjudged and been lied to? It's the media. It's all the fake shit they put out. We've seen it at demos. They'll sit there a nice location. They know full well where Antifa set up. They're just waiting for that 30 seconds when a piece of fruit gets thrown into the crowd with razor blades or something, and that's it. They want a 30-second reaction of the, whoever it is that's opposing anything. They just want that 30 seconds of a reaction, and that's it. They'll put it out. They won't put that they've been there peacefully all day until that happened. It's
No,
very
no, of course not.
disingenuous. Very disingenuous.
I mean, I cannot. My brain just doesn't understand how our lefty friends think that all of this is okay. You know, they all bang on about needing open borders. Everyone should be able to go to whichever country. I mean, what the hell is that about? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, this is why I've said. I mean, I've you know yourself. I've been in all these groups. I've seen it all. I've seen different approaches. To me, calling out and just going right, block the lefties, just block and block them. That clearly doesn't work. I've come at it from a different approach. We need to speak to these people. These people need to see what we're seeing. It's easy to block it out. Sorry, 1 second.
It's scary though, I mean, for me, it's about our country and our future generations. I have a 3.5-year-old granddaughter and a 1-year-old granddaughter, and the thought of their future and my daughter's future when I'm not here anymore absolutely terrifies me.
Yeah, this is it. This is it. I think people need to look at the problems. To me, it's easier if they come at it with a thing of, look what we're saying, and try and refute it. Try and prove us wrong. If you can't prove us wrong, and you're finding evidence along the way that supports what we're saying, then you need to examine things a bit more. You need to look at some of the things that you've been told, which are maybe not true. They're making light of everything. Look at the stuff that's already gone on. Pretending people are children. If they're not children, why are they pretending they're children? Dentists don't get it wrong. If they're saying this is clearly not a child, these are adult teeth and whatnot, then you can't argue with it. It's evidence.
And you know what? I honestly think it's only a matter of time until everybody's lovely friend Shemima Begum rocks up on one of the beaches. I don't think for a split second that she will stay in Syria, if she's even still in Syria.
I wouldn't be surprised if she's already here, to be honest.
I wouldn't either.
It's too easy to get through. It's too easy to get through. I mean, I don't watch TV much, anything. But my mate was watching something a couple of weeks back, and it was so many people, and he was just trying the luck just to see, testing the borders, testing to see what, how easy
I saw some of that, yeah.
Yeah, and I couldn't believe it. All of them got through, and one of them was literally, he was just hid under a sheet on the back seat of a lorry in the cab, and the guy went in there, quick search, didn't even look under the blanket, and he was gobsmacked. He thought, well, I'll definitely get caught, but we're just trying it anyway, and he got through. And it was like, wow, you're actually showing people now how easy it is. It's good because it shows us. It shows the people on the left that was believing it was hard and got all these things in place. There's nothing in place. Nothing's changed. Same with the grooming gangs. Nothing's changed. It's not got any better. It's got worse everywhere. Rotherham, worse. It's not got better. They put it out there like it's all been done and dealt with and everything's better. It's actually worse now than it was first exposed. So we're not. You got to think the police and whatnot, their job is to prevent crime. They're not doing that any longer. It's become a blue light cleanup crew, in my opinion. They come and
to be fair, we don't have any police anymore.
No, it's just they're going from one incident to another, late to each incident. I mean, I'm not blaming the officers. There's not enough money. If they haven't got the funding and it keeps being stripped back, you can't blame them.
But to be fair, Rick, Sadiq Khan took 500 or so Met cops off the street and put them on policing the bloody internet.
Yeah,
I mean, they're
that's
literally
crazy.
policing Facebook, for Christ's sake,
Yeah,
while women and girls are being brutally gang raped all over the country.
yeah, this is it. But in my opinion, if people really seriously wanted rid of Khan, they would have all followed up on that case that the Dragons put in. It's still an open case now. We've got a reference number and whatever. If we all got behind that, we could have him out of his job. But this is the problem. There's no unity in anything. Think of all the groups which have got a gripe with Khan. There's like motorbike groups, all the moped robberies, acid attacks. There's tons of problems, all down to that one person. There's lots of people that should be getting behind that, and realistically, there's probably a few hundred that have done it, it's not enough, obviously.
That's the tragedy, though, because you've got the leaders of these groups. You've got people like Phil Campion, Richard Inman, even Tracy Blackwell. Their egos are so off the scale. It's all
Yeah.
about me, 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 rather than. I mean, I've been saying, as you know, for the last 2 or 3 years, if you go to a demo and you don't like the person stood next to you, move, go and stand next to somebody else.
Yeah.
Surely to God, we're all fighting
Well,
for the same thing.
yeah and no. As of recent, I mean, up until recent, I would have agreed with you 100%. But as of recent, when you've got the likes of Mark Collette and whatever, and to me, it comes across very racist.
Yep.
Everything that they've called Tommy, basically racist, Nazi, whatever you want to call it, that's to me exactly what it is there. So I won't stand next to that. That's not what I'm about. I've not been about all this time and been called a racist and whatever to then confirm it to everybody. That's not happening. I'm in a multicultural family, multicultural circles. That's not what I'm about. So
That's the whole point, though. I mean, it's like Paul Golding in that in Dover a fortnight ago. Ego, ego, ego. Look at me. I'm doing this. Pat me on the back. Send me some money. That's all they care about.
I understand. I understand it takes. I mean, it's awkward with money. I think, to be honest, money it kind of dirties anything. Anything as pure as it may have been. As soon as you introduce money to it, it just puts a bit of a shit stain on it, in my opinion. But I understand on the other hand, it takes. It costs money to run about and produce all these videos and to be honest, I mean, you know yourself, you've done a fair bit with him and whatever. I've done a fair bit of him. When you're out there, you are putting yourself on the line. I mean, I've never taken a penny, I never would from anything, never have for any security or anything I've ever done. I've never taken a penny, and I never would. That's just me. I don't, that's my rule or whatever. I just don't deal with money and nothing to do with money. But
Well, no, I haven't either, but I do need financial help to print flyers and stuff. But
yeah, this is what I
difference
mean.
with
Everything
me,
costs money. I mean,
yeah, but
let's
the
say for
difference with me,
instance,
Rick,
yeah,
would be that every single penny would be accounted for. I would provide receipts for everything that anything is spent on.
yeah,
Do
yeah.
you know what I mean?
To
When
me,
has Tommy
if
ever
you're
done
gonna,
that? When has Paul Golding ever done that? When have any of
yeah.
them ever done it?
Well, to be honest, with there's so many people been calling Tommy out for it lately, but people fail to mention all the people that have reaped good stuff from it. The the disabled soldier that had this specially made all-terrain vehicle wheelchair thing to go out and about in the high peaks and the Justice for Chelsea sent the whole family on all that. There's loads of good things that Tommy's done, but people don't mention that.
Oh no! I appreciate that. And to
Yeah,
be fair, it was Tommy who was the first person in the country that
yeah,
highlighted the grooming gangs.
that's it. That's it.
He has taken one hell of a lot of money since. I mean, last year he said that he needed something like 36 grand for whatever trial at the Old Bailey.
Yeah,
And in the space of 24 hours, he was spent £20,000.
yeah,
He never provided a single receipt to where any of the money has gone. And
Could I just say,
look at just recently, it's, and I'm sorry to all you Tommy fanatics, but he's been sent donations, and I can't remember what it was he was sent the latest donations for, but they were sent for one reason, and he then spent them on making a bloody video called Shalom.
can I just say one thing? Technically speaking, it was a Sikh Awareness Society. Was the first group to ever start outing the grooming gangs and the abuse.
I didn't know that. No, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been doing it since early to mid '80s, I think.
Yeah, I knew they'd been doing it a while, but I actually didn't know who kind of did it first, to be honest.
Yeah, I've been following them for quite a while. It's like it's like, again, they're another group that do amazing stuff, support people in the most direct way possible. Yet they never get the publicity that they need. They never get the justice for the Hindu and the Sikh children that get. They never get a mention.
You know why though, don't you, Nick? Because the media have actually been proven to edit them out of it. When they were stood there with Tommy that day, they've cut them out. They weren't there that day, according to the media. It's very disingenuous.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's to control the narrative. What it is it's to just put it onto what we say. So it's only you lot that are kicking off about this. It's like, no, we all are.
Only white people. That's all. That's the way they want to put it across. It's only white people. It's only a few of them, and that's that. The minute they show brown people there and let them speak and have their say, all of a sudden that narrative's straight out the window, and it doesn't work. Very disgusting. Very disingenuous. It's only lately, in my eyes, people are seeing these things for what they are. They forget that things are on video, and people have, gone to the lengths of downloading these, and they've got them here, there, and everywhere. There's tons of stuff out there. To me, GMP just doing that latest report and whatever, and having to admit to the failings and whatever, that's the icing on the cake. To all these lefties that have sat there calling people, good people, racist and all that for no reason. Time to eat a nice big piece of humble pie. Let's not carry on calling each other names that we're not, and let's deal with the problems that are actually there that we can prove exist. Simple as that. Simple as that.
And that's exactly it. And this is the thing. So many people try to avoid actually talking about the crutch of the matter. You know what I mean? They'd rather sort of put it off to one side. So you're always arguing a side argument. You're never arguing the point.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. They tiptoe around it, and I'd rather talk about anything else other than the actual nitty gritty of it. But it's one of them. People have got to be open, honest, and talk with each other, debate. It's the only way forward. I think we can all agree by now that calling it things that it's not, pretending it doesn't exist, and calling anyone that points it out a racist and all these other names, that clearly doesn't help. That's clearly made it worse. So we need to come at it from a different approach. It's that simple.
As Nathan's just said, though, you've got a really good point there, Nath, because it's not, most people think that it's only, if you like, only, I don't mean only as to be disrespectful, but most people think that it's only white girls that are being groomed and raped. It's not. Sikh girls are also being groomed and raped. So why does nobody ever stand up and say, oi?
The demographic so far are Catholic, Christian, Sikh and Hindu. They're the main ones being targeted. And they are being targeted. In any other situation, you'd be saying people are targeting certain people. But in this situation, we're not allowed to say people are on purposely targeting certain demographics. We're not allowed to say that, even though the proof is there.
Well, yeah, so pretty much everyone that isn't a fucking Muslim is being targeted. But you're not allowed to say that because that's racist.
Seems that way, though, doesn't it? Seems that way.
Oh, my God.
I mean, you've got people, this is the problem. You've got people that are clueless about Muslims and Sikhs and Hindus, and you've had problems down the line where Hindus and Sikhs have been attacked in what they, as the attacker thought, was they was attacking Muslims. People are not even aware who's who. It's ridiculous, Hindus, Sikhs, and whatever. they've never been they've never ever been an issue while they've been here. You know,
No,
they
not at
was
all.
targeted. Their children was targeted. They went the right authorities. They did things the right way, and nothing happened. And then it had to turn to extreme violence to make it stop. You know, is this going to be is that what they want us to do, or is that the lengths it has to go to before things get dealt with, or what? To me, it's not hard in my eyes. I mean, if people read Easy Meat, some of these cases, it's not just about, and I'm not saying just as in belittling it, but it's not just about rape of children. It's about destruction of children,
Yeah.
raping girls with knives, bats, broken bottles.
Oh, Jesus,
That's
don't.
about destruction. That's pure destruction. Now that is a whole different law altogether. That's genocidal laws. Now we're not using them laws, but them laws are in place. To me, they're in place for a reason. We should be using them. We could be using them, but we're not. But the problem's getting worse. So to me, it's like everything else. It needs public backing. Everything needs public backing. When you've got half the country or more that have got their heads in the sand, we've got an issue. Everybody needs to speak up. It's that simple. If you can see a problem, point it out, speak about it. That's the only way you're going to deal with problems, by bringing it up, getting it in the open, and making it public knowledge, and then you will all deal with it. I mean, there's some brilliant people at the moment. I can't say how much respect I've got from it. It's unreal. Black Van Man, people like that. Callum from Speaker's Corner, Titans TV. All these people are doing absolute brilliant work, and they're calling. They're not pulling punches. They're calling it as it is. And to me, people need to get on there and give them support. These are the people that are doing, in my eyes, what's needed to be done, because they're now waking up the black community. There's a lot of black people that have turned to Islam. There's a lot of people turn to Islam in prison and whatever. So to me, these things, them things being fought on a different battlefield is exactly what needs to be happening. But we need to back them people up. Now you've got the likes of Mark Collette and whatever. To me, they are driving home the narrative that the Muslims in Speaker's Corner are trying to push, and have been trying to push for a good 18 months, because the argument in Speaker's Corner seems to be about how vile Islam is to black people and what it's done to their people over the time that Islam's been around.
Islam's vile to everybody that isn't following Islam.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, I don't think 18 months ago a lot of the black community realised. A few, yeah, but now it's hot topic, and it's one of them. You can't get away from the facts. Now you've got some people that are following that ideology, which seem happy with that, and they're openly displaying that they're happy with that and being quite racist towards black people. Now, in my eyes, where all the lefties are screaming racist and whatever, we can show you racist. We can show you point blank each person. We can show you all these absolute racists. Why are you not calling them racist like he was calling us? It doesn't make sense. It's just, to me, people have got to get past the bullshit. Islam's not a race. Muslims are not a race. So we need to take that race thing right out the equation, because it's neither. So
That's exactly, the true definitions need to be applied once again.
yeah.
Can I just say so? Can we invite Gary and Danny, because they're trying to get in? And can I just bring it back to the prisons, especially? I mean, you'll know this, really, especially in the southeast and the southwest. A lot of inmates are being beaten to turn to Islam. They've got a choice: they get beaten every day, or they turn to Islam. And this is happening in all the prisons in the south.
That's the whole point, though. I mean, and this is what I don't understand. Jews, Christians, Hindus, Sikhs, they do not tell people you must convert, or it's only Islam that does it. Why is that so hard for people to understand? You still there, guys?
Yep, I'm here. But this is the thing. It's getting. I think the hardest thing for people to do, and I think this is the problem we face across the whole of the country, is getting people to make a decision, and that decision is in which side of the fence do they come on?
Yeah.
Do they agree with this behaviour or don't they? Many people don't want to come out and say I don't agree with this behaviour, because to talk about it, you can lose your job. You can get labelled, you lose friends, get labelled in your community, things like that. And this is what's been done. This has been done by design, is to browbeat people to not talk about it, to just shut up and just accept it. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's not what human beings naturally do.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, it is not racist to speak out against Islam. I mean, Jesus Christ, how many millions or billions of Muslims globally are too scared to speak out against Islam?
Well, this is one thing that, I mean, obviously people know I've spoke about Islam, the ideology, quite a bit over the last few years. So things I speak about other religions as well. This is one thing I've seen over and over again. I've got quite a few ex-Muslim friends, and they say the same thing. You get drawn in because what you first start to learn is the Mecca Quran. Now that's the one that has got mainly the talk from Allah and the words from Allah coming down. It is actually peaceful, and I'll even admit the Meccan Quran in certain places is got some beautiful things in it, absolutely beautiful things. The problem is the Quran is 2 books, and then when you go to the second Quran, which is the Medina Quran, that's when you start getting to your heart, and you start getting the racism and the violence enter into it. And this is a problem. People can't differentiate between the two. And often most Muslims don't get told the full story. It's not until they're in, and this is what makes me say, they sort of draw you in, and then when you're in far enough, that's when the rest starts coming out. And by that time you're too far in, you're too enveloped in the community, and it makes it harder to withdraw.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
The problem is with that, though, Nate, a lot of people have been told with many different ways of telling them and whatever that jihad, what the actual meaning of jihad is. A lot of people think it's something, that inspires them and all this kind of rubbish. They don't actually realise the terminology that they're using, and they think, it's just that. It's just like doing Pilates or, a bit of yoga or something. And that's what they think it is. They're comparing things to ridiculous stuff, and you think you don't actually know what you're okay with. You're saying you're okay with it, but I'm sure you don't actually understand the meaning of it.
Can I interrupt here? We're getting a bit off topic. One question for Elaine.
Mhm.
What do you think you need to be able to keep the beaches safe?
People, basically. Literally, that they are. I mean, you probably remember when James Goddard came down a year or so ago, and we were down at Greatstone Beach, where there had been something like 20 odd the day before.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're on Greatstone Beach at 3 o'clock in the morning in the middle of bloody December or January, freezing cold. And James is he's gone, oh my God, guys, look, we're going to catch some. Everybody turn your torches off. I can see a boat. And we're all saying to him, what are you talking about? And he went, look, the light's over there. And I said, James, that's France. And he went, no, it's not. No, it's not. I said, James, that is France. I'm telling you. And it was David and Elimay Renton that were with us. And they turned around and went, actually, yeah, she's right. That is France. Do you know what I mean? It's so close.
It's only 19 miles, is it, there?
It's 21 miles in between Dover and Calais.
Right.
Well, that's the thing. You can see France's lights from where I am. I'm up the other end a bit. I'm by Thanet.
Yeah.
But you can see it, and we're further away than like Dover and that lot, and you can see it from me. I mean, people will be surprised when they actually have a look. On a clear night, you can see the lights of France. It's rather weird to see it. I mean, it's that close, and this is what people got to understand. There is people that swim the English Channel. Okay, in winter, in summer, the whole thing, and people say, oh, they're putting themselves in danger. I understand, yes, they are putting themselves in danger. Most of them can't even swim. I understand that, but at the same time, you've got to understand it's like the distance they're travelling, considering they're being escorted, and then basically all they've got to do is travel pretty much quarter of a mile, and then they're picked up by the English Navy and escorted,
Yep.
and then took onto a ship and escorted back. I mean, they don't
Absolutely.
actually travel that far. And people got to understand this as well. It's like when you've got the French Navy and the English Navy involved in one of the biggest shipping lanes in the world, I can tell you now, this is not just a group of people. I mean, these boats are anywhere between 3 and 12 grand they're coming across in. This
Yeah.
isn't people that are coming across as refugees with nothing. This is an organised, structured event that's going on here. I mean, I'm waiting for them all just to start walking through the Channel Tunnel, personally.
Yeah, same here, Nath. Same here. I mean, France is at 20%. We're at 5%. We can see the differences. It's not hard to figure out, is it?
Would you,
Nope,
be,
and the
would, you
model
be up,
always fits.
would you be up for coming over to Folkestone, Nath, when we do another South East Coastal event?
Yeah, I could be up for that, yeah. If I'm well enough for that, yeah, of course we'll.
Evening all.
Evening, Gary.
Evening, Gary.
Evening, Elimay.
Oh, hello, Gary. How are you, darling?
How you doing, darling? Right, what it is, basically, it's our own fault for signing this global compact migration. I mean, this was drafted in July 2018. It was signed in December, and here's the irony of it all. It was signed and the location it was signed is New York. Now, when they did a vote to vote it in, there was 152 countries in favour. There was 5 against and 12 abstained. The 5 that voted against it, this is the irony, one of them was the United States, one of them was Hungary, the other one was Israel, the Czech Republic and Poland. They were the 5 that voted absolutely no. We voted and signed it. That's where it's all coming from. And that's where they're getting all the rights from. Now, we're supposed to be leaving the EU. We'd already supposed to have left. So that tells you how tedious and corrupt our government was, because they've still gone ahead and signed this when we ain't supposed to be anything to do with the EU anymore as a bloc. We're supposed to be doing our own thing. So this has all been done by design. Absolutely.
And let's not forget the Barcelona Declaration as well. The Barcelona Declaration guaranteed that Islam will be accepted by law, by the use of laws, media, everything, basically everything possible that they can push a narrative. They have guaranteed by law that Islam will be accepted no matter what.
Yeah. And it's like now, Windy's hit the nail on the head in the comments. I still don't believe, even though we've had all this palaver, Big Ben not chiming and all that, that just proves to me we ain't leaving. All we're going to end up is a vassal state. That's all we're going to end up as. And people better wake the cup before it's too late, because that's the way we're heading, big style.
I'm going to reserve judgment on that for now, because I mean, although we are tied to the EU until December the 31st, which I think is complete bullshit. That, you know, which we voted to leave on June 23rd, 2016. The government should have been prepared for us voting no, but they were so damn arrogant that they never thought we would do it. But we should have been prepared to say on June the 24th, 2016, we're gone. We're taking back our country, our rules, our money, our borders, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly, anyway. What is the to negotiate on a no deal? It's plain and simple. It means what it says and says what it means. No deal. Bye. End of. Done.
What do you make of Priti Patel, Gary? Do you reckon that she, I mean, you know, she's already apparently see, I don't understand how she's our Home Secretary, Boris is our Prime Minister, and I mean, he keeps saying no alignment, we're not going to be following EU rules, blah, blah, blah. But in between now and the end of December, the EU can make any law that they like, and we have no choice but to obey it. So what do you make of Priti Patel? I mean, you know, to be fair, she has been very vocal about the illegals. you know, and she said that they're going to clamp down on the 1st of January 2021. So what do you make of her? Do you believe her, or is she just another one full of shit?
I think they're all full of shit. I don't think you can trust any single one of them, because if you could have trusted them, we'd have left on 27th of June, 2016. We'd have left. We had the referendum on the 26th. We'd have been gone by the 27th. That would have been the end of it. And all this 4 years longer, it's just, and they're doing it again now till December, because they know they're in the final throes of sorting it out, and they just need that few more months of time. And that's why you've got all the delays to next December.
Yeah, I agree. Did you see this crap that the EU sent us a bill on Brexit Day? They sent the UK a bill on January the 31st for 1.9 billion. And Boris Johnson has said, yep, we'll pay that, but it's okay because they're going to send us half of it back.
Yeah.
Right. Can I just step in a minute again, please? Sorry. Elaine, back to you, Elaine. People are sort of talking in the comments. We can't see the comments in here, but you are our very esteemed guest this evening to talk about
I'm not esteemed, it's just me.
So can we possibly get back onto South East Coastal Defence if there's anything else, you know, that you would like to tell us about?
Oh, well, no, not really. You know, it's just that I just need to point out that we're being invaded 24/7, 24 hours a day. I mean, I was on a bus a few months ago and the driver literally had to swerve because 12 illegals ran in front of the bus at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
So they're not
into the country.
I mean, did you see that one today, Elaine, where they've just pulled up? He's just come out of Dover Port onto the main road. Obviously, somebody's already found the police. He opened the back of the lorry on the hard shoulder, and about 12 of them climbed out the back.
Oh, no, I haven't. Please send me the link to that, Gary.
Yeah.
But
In
do you
broad
know what?
daylight.
I was told 6 or so months ago, I was just in my local village in Dymchurch handing out flyers, and there's a new ice cream shop up there. And I went in there and said to the owner, could I please leave you some leaflets? And he went, yeah, no problem. What are they about? So I told him. And he said, oh, my God, I'm ex-customs. What I could tell you would make your hair curl. And I said to him, could I please interview you? And he said, no, he wouldn't go on camera. He said, I said, can I do the audio? And he said, no, because locals might recognise my voice. And so he said to me that if I wanted to go up there with a pad and pen and take some notes, that was fine. And I haven't yet been able to do it because there are no opening hours on this. It's an ice cream shop. There's no opening hours. And obviously, you know, they're not open at this time of year. There's no phone number. I've got no way of contacting him unless I go up there every single day and try and get hold of him. But he actually told me that in 2017, the government told our so-called border force that they are no longer allowed to search for people. They can look for guns, they can look for drugs, they can look for whatever else, but they are not allowed to look for people. Yeah. What the hell does that say about our government?
Yeah. Well, apparently that video I've just told you about a couple of months old, but what it's been done, it's been recopied, and someone just put it out as a fresh video today on my wall. So it's only today's date on it. So that's what's happened there. It's been copied and re-put out. But there's that many coming over. You don't know what's new and what's old. That's a problem. There's that many of them now.
That's the whole point, though, Gary. You know, Stop 24. I mean, you know David and Damo Brown. They have frequently gone up to Stock 24. And Dave told me a few months ago that they were up there one night and they saw 5 white vans come off one of the trains and they followed them. You know, it just looked a bit suspicious and they followed them. And they counted 103 people getting out of these damn vans about half a mile away from the tunnel. So, you know, they're coming through the tunnel. These lorries are not being searched. And nobody is doing a damn thing our end except calling the police. The police then apparently arrest them. They are then told to go to the Croydon Immigration Centre within 14 days. and they're released.
Yeah.
Oh, it's insanity. But no, I mean, Susie, you know, going back to your question straight up, I need locals. I need locals who are awake to get in touch with me. If anyone listening to this is local or they know anybody local, please email secoastaldefence@gmail.com and let me know.
Can you say that clearer, the email address?
secoastaldefence@gmail.com.
Right. Now, local to you, can you just give the general area of where you are exactly?
I'm in Romney Marsh, but anywhere along the southeast coast between, well, even as far over as you, Nathan, Ramsgate. You know,
Yep, come
anywhere
here
at
as well.
all. Ramsgate, Margate, Dover, Deal, Sandwich, not Sandwich, Seabrook, Sandgate, Folkestone, Lydd, New Romney, Hythe, Dungeness, anywhere along that coast.
Yep, Deal was another one they come in quite a lot on.
Yep,
This is the
yeah,
thing.
they
It
do.
used to be all the smaller ports, but they've got so brazen now. They come into Dover everywhere now.
And they're doing it in broad daylight now as well, which is it seems to be the ones that are coming in during the day that never get reported on,
I mean,
which is
part
insane.
part of my problem is we've got a lot of left that say let them all come in, let them all come in. I mean, look at the families we've got on food banks. Look at the people we've got homeless on the streets. We can't afford to support our own people. We can't. It is not right to bring more people into a country you can't guarantee you can look after.
Of course not.
Human rights wise and stuff like that. And these people are big on human rights, so they should be bang honest and saying, well, we can't look after these people. It's not right. But no one's doing that. They just go, no, come on. Ridiculous. And this is another thing as well. People got to understand all the people aiding and abetting this and saying, yes, this is okay, let's do it. It's they're illegal immigrants. This is a crime. Technically speaking, what's happening in the English Channel, I think technically could constitute an act of war. But no one wants to talk about it.
Which you're in Ramsgate, Nate, so I assume you've heard of my good friend Bridget Chapman.
Bridget, I know Mick Chapman. I think I've heard of Bridget Chapman.
Oh, look her up. Her name's Bridget Chapman. She set up CRAN, Kent. I think it's the Kent Anti-Racist Network. Her and her buddies were down on Ramsgate Beach in last summer. They did a candlelit vigil for immigrants coming in. She is on her trolley. She is, my God, she's so left. It is insane. Me and her were both interviewed on BBC Radio 4 last year. And I was there saying basically we need to stop this. They're not, no police checks, no background checks, blah, blah, blah. And she was calling me racist on air and basically saying that we should welcome all of them, no problem at all. She lives in Ramsgate, Nath.
Yeah, it's divided here. It's divided, and it's because this is the problem. I mean, it's like recently. This is how quite diverse it is, but you don't really see it on the face of it. It's like we've recently had Hindu basically taking they bought the Kingdom Hall. Now this is a very, very old building. Remember, Ramsgate is the only royal port left in the kingdom. It's the only royal port. There's no other royal ports, so it's the only one left. There's buildings here that all the kings and queens used to come here to visit and go around Margate and Ramsgate. There's a lot of old buildings. There's a lot of heritage here. They've moved in. They're actually trying to fundraise, and they've put a hell of a lot of their own money into basically restoring the building to keep our heritage. At the same time, they can make it a temple inside without damaging any of the interior exterior, and then they can preserve their culture. So they preserve. What they're doing is preserving both cultures at the same time, but they're getting a lot of stick and a lot of money taken away from them from other things, and I don't think it's right. I think there's genuine people really trying to sort of integrate and become part of the community and help the community and support the community, and I think they're being ignored and pushed to peripheries, and I think this is where society's going to break down. I think this is where, because like I said, I don't think multiculturalism has failed. I think immigration and stuff like that's failed. and this is a problem. But multiculturalism will fail if it keeps going the way it's going, and that's not what we want.
Multiculturalism has already failed, but not because of us. It's the, I'm sorry to say it again, it's Islam. They will not integrate. And I'm not saying all of them, we've got these Muslim extremists, if you like. But, to put it into perspective, when you've got a video of somebody in whichever Middle East country being beheaded, the extremists are the ones beheading them. The so-called moderates are the ones stood a couple of feet away filming them. They do not integrate. They don't want to. The majority, I actually think that the majority of Muslims are absolutely fine. I don't have a problem with immigration at all. Not at all. If somebody wants to come to Britain and work and pay their taxes, fine. Not a problem at all. Go ahead. Keep coming. That's fine. It's those who absolutely refuse to work and refuse to integrate, like when you've had Britain First doing whatever demo and they're screaming at them, this is our town, not yours, and whatever. No, it's great. So how bad is Margate? Did you see Debbie Coleman goes down to Margate quite often? Her and her family go down there, and she put up a few photos in the summer of toilets in Margate, and they were absolutely disgusting. She put photos up of the beach, and there was just rubbish strewn everywhere. And there were piles of human shit on the beach from these people. So how bad is it in Thanet, Nath?
Are you there, Nathan?
Yep, sorry, I had to sort my daughter out.
No, Nath, I was just saying that Debbie Coleman put some photos up in the summer when her and her family went to Margate, and the photos were absolutely appalling. There was rubbish strewn everywhere on the beach and some toilets she put photos up of. How bad is it over there?
Well, it's been bad for quite a while. It's not so much Margate. It's encroaching into Margate a lot now, but it was actually just located in a place called Cliftonville. Again, this is loads of massive Victorian houses that have been changed into about 5 or 6 flats each building. Things like Dolby Square is an area where there's a lot of high crime. It's pretty bad, And like I said, it's now encroaching into old Margate, and a new Margate is spreading along. And apparently, Thanet's going to have an influx of between 2,000 and 3,000 more immigrants within the next 6 months, apparently.
Oh, for goodness sake. So what's the general feeling over your way? In Thanet, what are the locals? Are they angry, or are they accepting, or what?
Well, this is the thing. It's to a lot of people, it hasn't hit, because like I said, we're small fishing towns, and villages. So on the face of it, everything seems the same, but you can see it's slowly changing in the background, and a lot, like I said, a lot of people haven't addressed it. It's kind of split. You've got a lot of like people that you'd say were on the left, but then you've got a lot that I wouldn't say on the right, but people call it classic because a lot of people voted for UKIP and that round here at the point when they were saying. So it was at one point classed as far right everywhere, but it's not. And this is the point. A lot of the press and a lot of the media, the way it's been handled around here is absolutely appalling. Considering we're all small fishing villages and towns, there's a hell of a lot of stabbings and stuff like that going on. There's basically running gang wars over Cliftonville. It's ridiculous.
And Cliftonville's not very big, is it?
No. Like I said, these are all small towns, inhabitants of about 2,000 to 3,000 people generally.
Jesus.
But it's just been slowly shooting up. Like I said, what happened is like Cliftonville, loads of parts of Thanet was left to just go to that ruin. Loads of people have been pushed to certain areas. Now all of a sudden, we're seeing pockets of immigrants, communities of immigrants. The problem is as well, it's like with Cliftonville, one of the main problems is the councils and the way they do it. I mean, you've got Kurds and Serbs being put in a house next to each other and things like that. It's very multicultural in Cliftonville. I mean, there's Russians, there's many different, and there's a lot of arguments between them all because, like I said, certain people won't put up with certain other bits and certain bits. I mean, it's like there's a lot
Yeah,
of
but
cultural
we're
differences.
supposed. Yeah, but we're supposed to put up with all of it.
Yeah,
So,
that's the thing.
are Ramsgate and Margate Labour or are they Tory?
It's switched Labour, Tory, Labour, Tory. Recently, I think it's been Labour. But this is the thing. Again, we've got a very dodgy Labour around here. I mean, one of the Labour MPs, not like long ago, I think Body Shop donated something like 20 to 30 grand's worth of stuff to raise funds for something, and most of 2 or 3 MPs, I think, female MPs, I think, sold and donated about 5 grand and sold the rest for themselves privately. I was caught out. It's not. And we've got the hoverport, we've got ferryport, we've got a lot of things that could be doing something, and they've spent. I mean, Ramsgate Harbour, for instance, the port, millions and millions of pounds. I think it's like 12 million and up was given to a company to do something with the port. This company had no ferries, and they landed up just collapsing on the deal. So all the money's just down the drain. It's ridiculous. And we've got homeless. That 12 million could have solved the homeless problem in Thanet in one go.
Yeah.
Are you getting any immigrants coming in by, on the dinghies to Ramsgate or anywhere near that way, Nath?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like a deal. There's a lot of like small bays and beaches that you can land. I mean, going back in history, we're talking the area where the Romans first sort of started landing, because you've just got like a flat beach, so it's straight from sea straight onto a flat beach. It's a perfect place to land. We've got loads of them dotted along the coast from here down to Cornwall, and that's the problem now. It's all going, but now they're going to the major ports and that as well. It's becoming. But it's been a problem for a while. I mean, not long ago there was I think about 9 to 11 brought back through Ramsgate by I think it was the RNLI. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I think they brought them back. So they got into
Handed
trouble.
over to the police?
No, I think they was taken to hospital. That's all I know. I think they was taken on ambulances. That was it. No one knows what, as far as I know. No one I know knows what happened to them after. But this, I think, around here, I mean, apart from Cliftonville, Margaret, I mean, in a lot of places, you still don't see a lot of the violence and a lot of the stuff. And this is the thing, it's localised in certain areas. But it's such a volume in small areas, it is a massive problem.
Do you know what, Nath? To be fair, I mean, as you know, I'm a Kent girl. I've always been a Kent girl. And Margate has never been, I mean, I've been over there hundreds of times, obviously, but it's never been top on my priority. It's never been a nice town, if you like. Margate has always felt dangerous my entire life. I mean, I'm 56 now, and my entire life, Margate has never felt safe. So I can only imagine how dangerous it feels now.
Yeah, I mean, Margate, yeah, it's never been great. I mean, Margate is very famous, not only because in history, but in more times like in the 60s with the mods and the rockers. Basically, they all used to turn up here and have a fight on the beach every year and stuff like that. I mean, it is quite rough around here. It has been classed as one of the most roughest towns in England. So it's always been. But if you're born here, I know it's weird. If you're born here, you're born and you grow up with everybody, and where you sort of know most of the people, you sort your differences out a long time ago. It's when people move in and come here on holidays, bits like that, mainly, really.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's more crime related. I mean, there's the drug problem in Cliftonville and Margate is just shot up.
It's just heartbreaking, that so many of British areas, I mean, like Blackpool, Jesus. I was watching a video last year of somebody who was on Blackpool Beach, and he actually, you could hear him on the video saying, "What the fuck is going on?" You know, he just walked along the Blackpool seafront and it was like Little Iran. It was absolutely insane. There were so few white people there. And he said, you know, that Blackpool has been completely destroyed by immigrants. And it's happening all over the country.
See, this is the thing. I mean, I do know a lot of immigrants that do live in Ramsgate, Margate, and Broadstairs, generally in Sunny, and most of them are very nice people.
Yep.
They're amazing. But this is the problem. It's like you'll see the demographics, and you'll find where the problem is when you look at the crime. Look at the crime, because you've got to remember one thing: if these people are willing to do what they're doing to enter a country illegally, so they're willing to commit a massive crime to get into the country, they're not going to worry about the laws when they're in the country.
No.
And I said, and this is the thing: we're not just and it's not just Islam that we're getting in the way of immigrants. And this is the thing, and the problem is now there's a new narrative now. They're economic migrants.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, and this is a problem because they're coming from all over the world now. Basically, it's like you just said, well, our borders are open and everybody's coming in. Some of the treaties and the pacts they've done, it's ridiculous. There's not infrastructure in most of the countries in Europe to sustain the influx of immigrants. It's just the infrastructure is not there. There's not time to build it.
Look at the Eastern Europeans. I mean, a couple of months ago, Liz Horscroft put a video up. And I mean, I know about Romania because I've actually been to Romania 5 or 6 times. I was going out there rescuing dogs, and my God, it was so heartbreaking. But Liz put a video up a couple of months ago, and there was this Great Dane, absolutely beautiful, beautiful dog. And this poor soul was being used by Romanian illegal immigrants. They had no right to be in Britain, and they were literally begging for money because this poor dog was starving. The dog was muzzled, and there was this huge campaign. The dog was eventually rescued, but it was Romanians who were doing it in the middle of London. It's not acceptable. You know, that whatever goes on in their countries is their culture. It's their country. They're now in Britain. They should damn well live by our rules, our culture, our laws. But it's not happening, and nothing is being enforced for fear of the racist card.
Exactly. And this is another as well. People got to realise why the immigrants that are coming in illegally and doing all illegal activities are doing what they're doing. They're actually damaging the genuine immigrants and the genuine refugees that are here, and their efforts and their plight and what they actually have to go through to actually integrate and be part of society. I mean, and you've got these people like, well, I'm not going to do it, I'm just going to do this. So I mean, they're actually damaging the people that are genuine, and no one seems to care.
I couldn't agree more. But, you know, I mean, going back to the illegals coming in all along the coast, about 98% of them are saying they're Muslim. You know, and we've got the so-called extreme Muslims and we've got the so-called moderates. But in my mind, and I'm sorry if anybody disagrees with this, I mean, I'm not religious. I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God, period. Sorry if that upsets people, but there we go. But for me, you know, these people, all these Muslims follow Islam. They've got the extremists who are blowing people up at pop concerts. They're beheading people in bookies in Birmingham. They're grooming and raping and drugging Hindu, Sikh, whatever girls and white girls. So why is it that the vast majority stay silent? That, to me, means that they are complicit. I do not buy for a single second that they're too scared to speak out. I mean, as I say, I'm an atheist, but if any white person, regardless of religion, was to groom and rape somebody in my area, I would be the person on the rooftop screaming blue murder. They're not. They're keeping silent, and they know damn well that it's going on in their community and their community alone. That makes them as guilty as the people carrying out the crimes, in my eyes.
to be fair, their ideology forbids them from crossing each other up. So they're
Oh,
always
that's
going
bollocks,
to.
Rick. That's an excuse.
No, no. I mean, it's not an excuse, but that's what they'll. That's what it comes down to. Are they going to do the morally right thing towards you, or are they going to, knowing that blows their 72 virgins and 72 mansions, that just throws that straight out the window, you know? So it's one of them things, isn't it? Are they going to do the morally right thing, knowing they've chucked the 72 virgins and whatever out the window, just to do the morally right thing for people which, they're better than? We're only cattle. You've got to remember, we're only cattle. So
Do you know what, though? I actually think that the only Muslim on the planet that should have anybody's sympathy are the women and kids. The kids are brainwashed from birth into thinking that anyone that isn't a Muslim is a scumbag, they're a kafir, they need to be killed. And the women are persecuted to within a millimetre of their life.
well, this is it. I
It's the
mean,
men.
where's all the lefties on the, even all the child abuse, so many child abuse campaigners and all this. Where are they all on the FGM?
Yep.
Where are they all on that? There's four clinics had to be set up in Birmingham alone. It's clearly a big problem. We've got laws put in place to deal with these things, yet no prosecutions. It's very strange. Very
Yep.
strange.
It's heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking. And the simple truth is that there are so few of us who are willing to put their heads above the pulpit and say, this is wrong. I'm going to speak out. There are so many in this bloody country who just ignore what's going on.
That's why, in my opinion, you've had people like Tommy and whatever that have spoke out, and they've seen him have his teeth smashed out and put in jail, and his family threatened to acid attack him and murder his kids and all this. Who else? I mean, I've said it for a while. Tommy a while back has had in Poland. They've said to him, "You can come, your family can come, full citizenship. You're not safe in your country. Your country don't seem to appreciate what you're doing for it. They just, your whole family can come here and have full citizenship." Tommy, by rights, could just say, "Do you know what? I've done my bit. I've been kicked up and down the UK, been locked up how many times? I've done my bit. I've woke his up. I've done my bit," and he could go to Poland easily and forget about, he's done his bit in my eyes. This is why I'm a bit thingy with Tommy, because in my eyes, he's took the brunt of it. You might have other people here, there, and everywhere now saying it, and everyone's kind of done their bit, but Tommy's been the one who's took on the amount of attacks and the amount of persecution as of late now. I see it as he's justified, he's vindicated fully, with that JMP report. It just shows everybody, that's it. Tommy was right. All these people that was calling him racist, sorry, but you were wrong. You were very wrong to do so. At that point, we all need to evaluate what else have we been lied about, what else, what other numbers and whatever have they tweaked to suit their needs. You've got to think any information we're getting is suppressed anyway. It's little slips and trips and suppressed information we're getting.
It's not only Tommy though, is it? I mean, as far as the Muslim thing, yeah, that's down to Tommy.
Yeah.
But look at Maggie Oliver. I mean, she was persecuted. She lost her job. She lost her home.
Yeah.
And then you've got Melanie Shaw, for Christ's sake. Poor Melanie is still locked up. And her crime was to speak out against the bastards who were abusing her. And then you've got John Wedger. He spoke out.
Yeah. Yeah. This is what I mean. There's lots of bad information about. I mean, I'm not trying to blow our trumpet or anything, but we have got very good sources of information, and that's hopefully the more people get involved in these debates and whatnot, everyone will slowly but surely get on the same page with what's right and what's wrong and what's fact and what's fiction. So I'm hoping that enough people just hear things and it'll switch little lights on here and there, and eventually we'll all see a bigger picture, because there'll be bits of information that we've all got that other people have not got, and then when you've got all the information, you've got all the pieces to the jigsaw, you can stand back and all see the bigger picture, and then we can move on to solutions, because at the moment everyone's pointing things out but nobody's introducing a solution. That's what we need right now, because people are going to wake up in a panic soon. I think they're already doing so. Darren Osborne onwards, when he drove over Muslims, people are going to wake up in a angry state. We need, in my opinion, lawful solutions before things turn messy, and they will turn messy because they're not being dealt with. They'll get dealt with in other ways, which we don't want it to go. Our kids want to have a lawful solution, a lawful, in my eyes, our constitution and whatever, that's what's kept us all equal and safe. The moment you're not equal and you can clearly see we're not safe, we've got problems. We need to address them. We can't just ignore them. That's crazy. That's crazy.
So what's the answer? Do you know what I mean? I mean, Boris is making all the right noises at the moment, but he's only, he's only had a majority since December the 12th. Pretty Patel's making all the right noises.
I personally think, politics-wise, I don't think we've got a hope. If we did have a hope, it would have been Gerard Batten with UKIP and whatever. But as I kept saying to everybody that was pushing it, I've spoke to Gerard Batten and whatever. Yeah, it sounds like he's saying the right things, but when you realise that he's actually wrote 2 books on our constitution, yet fails to mention it, see, for him to stand there and be very loud and proud about it, that he's anti-Islam, to me, that's a 10. For you to say I'm against Sharia, it's a 5 at best on the offensive ometer. It's to say you're against I say an ideology. To me, it shouldn't be seen as a bad thing, but it is. It offends people that you say you're against Islam. To me, they think religion. I say ideology. There's a big difference. Yeah. In my eyes, that side of things is, that's where people get offended. They think, oh, you're slandering a religion. Well, that's because you see it as a religion. I don't see it as that. I see it as an ideology. You can go and stand outside a mosque and there'll be all sorts of coloured people go through them doors. It's not just brown, there's not just brown Muslims. People have got misconceptions. I mean, look back over the years, there's been Sikhs and Hindus attacked because they thought, the attackers thought they was Muslim. They don't even know who they're attacking. Some of the people, they don't even seem to understand that these people are not the same as these people, and whatever. Sikhs Awareness Society, I think more people need to check out them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally different people. Totally different people. So, and I'm not saying all Muslims are bad, because not all of anyone does anything, but that shouldn't stop us addressing the simple things that, some of these things that are happening are justified in their books and their literature. So, we can't not talk about it. We have to talk about it at some point in time. We all, we have to look at what's causing the problem. That's it. You'll never fix a problem until you can identify the problem and talk about what's involved. And unfortunately, it is part of the problem. Tommy was right. Everyone that spoke out about it was right. I'd like to see any of these people that call people racist come forward. Come forward, and we'll debate it. Try and refute anything that we're saying.
Yep. Do you know what though? You mentioning Gerard Batten. When Glenn Safford was down a year or so ago, when we caught the 3 illegals in Dover, he actually the night that we met before we actually went down to Dover, he called Gerard Batten, and he's made this phone call, and he said to me, "Oh, Elaine, somebody on the phone wants to talk to you." And I said, "Who is it?" And he went, "It's Gerard." And I said, "Gerard?" And he went, "Yeah, Gerard Batten." And I'm like, "Oh, fuck off." And he went, No, it is." So I spoke to Gerard Batten, and he told me how grateful he was that I'd sorted out FCCD, and he said that I was doing great work and whatever else, and how much he appreciated it. And he said, "How can I help?" And I said, "To be perfectly honest, Gerard, the problem I have is transport. If there's a call out from the Coast Guard at 3 o'clock in the morning that we've got incoming at Dungeness or Deal or Dover or wherever, I can't get there." So he said, "I will look into getting you a car and a driver." And I said, "Really? My God, you would do that?" And I was absolutely thrilled. And then 8 or 9 weeks later, he actually told Glenn Stafford to give me his mobile number. So I had Gerard's mobile. And he said to me, "Give me a call if there's anything else I can do." So 8 or 9 weeks later, I called Gerard Batten, and I said to him, "X is, this is going on along the coast, blah, 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 blah." And he said, "I'm sorry, I don't remember us having that conversation. I never offered you a car." He lied to me. He told me that my only option was to contact local UKIP members, most of whom were 60 plus. So they're not going to be wanting for me to call them at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning to go down to the beach. So he lied. Gerard Batten lied to me.
It's all about votes. That's all it comes down to. To me, politics, if people are wishing on politics and hoping it's going to fix the problem, I think we're going to come unstuck quite quickly, to be honest. I mean, everyone's going to see
Politics
things
created the
differently.
problem.
Yeah, I think so, mate. I think so.
It's just all so sad, and it's so bloody overwhelming. Do you know what I mean? I've thought of giving up so many times, and I can't. I just can't. Every time I think of giving up, I think of my daughter and my granddaughters.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, I like Anne-Marie Waters.
Yeah.
I like her. I think she comes across, if you're going to believe in politics and all that, I think she would be the person that I would put some faith into. But it's one of them at this moment in time. Well, no, not at this moment in time, actually. I think perceptions have changed somewhat in the last few weeks and months. Some time ago, I don't think Anne-Marie Waters or whatever would have got very far, but now I think she may, she may. It's one of them. People have got to, everybody's got to speak about these things. We cannot just keep ignoring things and hoping it'll somehow magically get fixed. It's not going to get fixed. The police aren't in a position to fix it. The government are not interested to fix it. It has to come from us, all of us.
The police don't want to fix it, Rick.
No. Well, the average boots on the street they may want different action or whatever, but to me, it's the politics of the job. It's the high up ones, isn't it?
Yeah.
The top brass. That's where it's like in the demo situations. The boots on the ground are only doing what they're told. You've got some idiot in a tower telling them what to do. It's not him that's going to get problems or whatever. He's sat high and dry. He's not bothered, is he? It's the boots on the ground. I mean, this is why I took an interest to the Finchley Road thing, Gordon Bowden, the police pensions. Or anyone that's joined in, I think it's the last 5 years, they've been told that they're getting a certain pension, when in all actual fact they're only getting 50% of that. Now, yeah. I've proved that. I've done it on video. Spoke to a copper that was in the know about it, and he's admitted it all on video. So, to me, it's just it's a tool to the police. It's showing them, you're being lied to as well. It's not just us that are being had over. You're also being lied to. Now, 1 million kids and counting have been raped and passed around like a bag of sweets in the past. In my opinion, for certain police that did cover things up, I've watched tons of these court things and whatever with the Rotherham, everybody. Some of the answers it was given or refusing to be given was disgusting, and people should have been held to account, and they wasn't, and they haven't been. And to me, that's what's got to stop. That's what's got to change. People need to be brought to account. That's it.
It's never going to
You-
happen, though, is it?
Well, something's going to have to happen because people will continue to wake up. I mean, you think for so many years it was drip, 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 and now people have just found out tons of stuff which they thought was far right rhetoric. Has found out now, wow, all these things are true. You know, everything that they've said about Tommy was bullshit. He's been telling the truth. We've jailed him. We've done all sorts to him. It's one of them things. I think the people that have been calling people racist are going to be the angriest because they're the ones that have been lied to. We're not angry in that way because we've not been lied to. We've been pointing it out. We've got used to the attacks. It's like water off a duck's back now when people call you racist. We've been proven right. We've indicated. You know, you're the ones with egg on your face. It's, you know, it is that simple. Now, to me, we have to move forward from here based on the facts. People need to not stray away from the facts at all. You know, facts are facts. If you can't refute it, it's fact. It's as simple as that. Half of these things that are about are government, you know, government documents, Quilliam, you know, Muslim-based, Muslim-run agencies. So this is not dud information. This is genuine information that are coming from the right sources, and even that it's suppressed. So we've got to look at the, you know, the big picture. What's been put in place since Rotherham, say, you know, that was how long ago? What's been put in place to sort anything out now? You know, I've gone round, I've contacted roughly 100 pedo hunter groups, spoke to many of them, asked them what could we do. You know, appreciate what you're doing. This is great work. You know, the police should be doing it, but good people like them are doing it. What tactics around that could we use and, you know, employ to deal with the other side of grooming? You know, offline. You know, your chicken shops, your on street grooming. You know, and straight away it was like, you know, most times it was like he'd said something really offensive, and you're thinking, I don't get it. I don't get it. You know, you was happy enough doing what you was doing to random off the internet. You know, if one of them happened to be Muslim, you'd still do it. So why can't we focus at the chicken shops for the ones that they've been in jail, they've been out of jail, they know to stay off the internet because that's how they get caught with all these pedo hunters and whatever. They're not stupid, they're smart. You know, it's one of them things. In a white community or any other communities, these things won't be spoke about with mates and friends and whatever. That's not what goes on. You know, if I was to start speaking about a 12-year-old or something in front of my friends, they'd all, you know, quite happily jump all over your head. That's normal. In certain communities, that's not going on. So they are sharing information and they are sharing children, and it's a network. It's a network. There's some stuff I can't speak about because, you know, some things are ongoing. Somebody I know is part of a network or whatever, and they've got 80 targets that are active, and they're dealing with it or whatever. I'm not part of it or whatever, but I know about it, and that's just in a certain area, and that's 80 targets. So these are big problems, these are big issues, and people are skating around it still. You know, to me, that's what's got to stop. People have got to confront the problem head on. That's that. Other than that, you know, we're in a bad situation. If we can't speak up for the kids now, what are we waiting for? Are we hoping that one day these kids that we've had are going to speak up and deal with it? Because we can't do it. We can't have a few awkward debates, a few awkward conversations. We have to. We haven't got a choice in the matter.
Look at the LGBTQI plus whatever crap as well, though. Do you know what I mean? Why are people not up in arms, screaming on the streets that it is? I mean, Christ Almighty! I follow a page on Twitter called Safe Schools Alliance, and they put a letter up a couple of weeks ago from a teacher, and she actually resigned her job because her school, they were teaching between 4 and 11-year-olds, and her school were actually teaching 6-year-old children the best way to give somebody a blowjob. They were teaching 6-year-old children that it's perfectly normal to have sex with animals. And this is going on in so many schools all over the world, not just in Britain.
Sick,
I mean,
innit?
Jesus
Sick.
Christ.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. But people won't speak up, will they? This is the problem. I mean, just a simple thing. It's the way they push it to you as well. Like, you've had people going on about everybody's going to be chipped and all this sort of thing. Yeah, the way they want it, they'll make it so. All they'll do is pull so many in and say, right, well, we've chipped 100 children, and the way they'll say it, they'll do it in a different way. They'll say, right, we've chipped these 100 children. Now, if these children get kidnapped or anything like that, we'd have them back within the hour. Now, they're going to turn around and say to any parents that have not chipped their children, wow, what sort of parent are you because you've not chipped your children? What will you ever do if they get kidnapped? So,
Absolutely.
they just throw it on you. It's like I've said with this PESCO stuff, it is rolling out. It's already been authorised. Everything's there. It's there already. They're just waiting for any kind of a kick-off, and that's it. It'll roll out. It's never going to roll back away. That'll be there, implemented, and it'll stay there. These things are there. Everyone can see it. What is it put there for if it's not, for what we're
I think
saying?
it's Article 222, I think it is.
Yeah, this is it. It's there. People can't say it's not. It doesn't exist. It's there. What is it there for? What are they expecting? I mean, to me, there's lots of routes you could look at to figure out why it might be there. I won't go on with it tonight or whatever, but if people do look at the Islamic calendar and whatever, I think there's lots of things that coincide, the dates and whatnot. I don't think it's coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence.
No, I don't. Oh, but anyway, guys, I'm going to have to go. I need to get something to eat.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you for joining tonight, Elaine. It's been great.
Yes, very
I'm sure
much.
there's people that have not heard any of this stuff before, and hopefully they'll go away and have a little check themselves.
We can hope.
Yeah, thank you, Elaine.
Yeah, cheers,
no
Elaine.
worries, Suze. Well, it's lovely having a catch up with you, Susie, Gary, and Nathan. We haven't spoken for bloody ages.
No, last time I saw you, it was at Reading.
Yeah, at the mosque demo.
Yeah.
I remember it well.
Yeah, brilliant.
All right then, guys. Well, thank you for having me on. And as I say, if anybody can offer any help of any kind, please email secoastaldefence@gmail.com and I'll get back to you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Elaine,
Will
and thank you, Susie, for leading the show. You did brilliant. Thank you.
Thanks for it.
Guys, you take care.
Take care, Elaine. Take care.
Bye.
We'll talk
Bye.
soon.
Bye.
Bye. Nice one, Susie. Thank you.